Very good afternoon to you, Stephen, indeed, and thank you very much. It's a beautiful day in Cape Town. I keep reminding you, Stephen, because you are in gloomy Johannesburg. Well, we are in sunny Cape Town, and it makes the work that you and I do seamless on conditions like this, because a little later on you're going to see my colleagues out and about talking to members of parliament, talking to dignitaries. That's just some of what you can look forward to. For the moment, seated in front of me and looking absolutely fine is the acting public protector, Gcaleka, who sits across me right now. And when we talk about the three arms of the state, Ms. Gcaleka, coming together on an occasion like this, and this is why perhaps the Speaker of the National Assembly has been at pains to explain to South Africans that this is no ordinary occasion. It's done in other countries, but I suppose it's got to do with that word, pomp and ceremony. The contribution of Chapter 9 institutions, locate them for us on an occasion like this.
Good afternoon, Clemi, and thank you for having me on the show. Chapter 9 institutions are very important. As you well know, they are located in Chapter 9 of the Constitution of the Republic, basically as the institutions that are supporting constitutional democracy, strengthening constitutional democracy, are a vanguard of this constitutional democracy, and basically are the mouthpiece of the members of the public of the Republic of South Africa. But also we are there to ensure within our different mandates that indeed what is envisaged and promised through the Constitution is actually being implemented by our government in particular.
Yeah, the vanguard of our democracy. At least that's what your institution partly contributes towards. Can you say that during your time in office, and indeed the person who at least at the moment is still on suspension and pending the inquiry that is unfolding, I'm talking about Advocate Mkhwebane, can you say that that is indeed the role that the Office of the Public Protector has played, and has played with honesty?
The Office of the Public Protector receives about 9,000 cases per annum. And out of those 9,000 of cases, there are different allegations that have been brought before the Public Protector, those including issues of service delivery, maladministration, of course those of EMEA, which put the Office of the Public Protector in the limelight, undue delay and so forth. The Office of the Public Protector continues to assist a large number of South Africans. For instance, we have been in the Eastern Cape, which was widely reported was the issue of the bridge in the Ntabankulu area, where the members of the public there receive no services at all because there's no access road or access bridge to afford them what is enshrined in our Constitution. The Office of the Public Protector, for instance, has intervened in that matter, and as we are here today, the construction of that bridge is underway because of our interventions. A lot of undue delays by the state to deliver the services. The Office of the Public Protector has immensely contributed and ensured that the members of the public are actually served. And the reason why we continue to receive the large of amounts of complaints that we receive up to today, it's because the office is functional.
Yeah. Sometimes, Ms. Gcaleka, the general public responds better to examples of people experiencing hardship and simply being at a loss as to which door to knock on in order for them to get some help. I'm reminded of a case in KwaZulu-Natal at the start of this year. A family, the surname escapes me right now, a family in agony because the grandmother fell. She was trying to cross a river. She fell, and that was her last breath. She took her last breath, and authorities, when I say authorities, government officials, the family went and reported that our parent has unfortunately lost her life and she is on a river. Please, can you come pick her up? It took weeks, Public Protector. I'm not exaggerating. It took weeks. It was a very painful moment. And perhaps while you think about how that family can possibly be helped or where they could have gone, that scenario I painted earlier. That family, all they had to do was to simply go and cover the body of their grandmother for some measure of dignity up until someone came and helped.
Clearly that shows some measure of conduct failure, which is part of the matters that we investigate. If you recall, when we issued our reports in December, we had one matter of the Baragwanath Hospital where they buried a deceased person as a pauper without notifying the family. We actually found against them. But in those instances, we don't just look into the conduct failure, but we look into the systemic issues. What would have been the systemic challenges that could have been a hindrance to a delivery of a service as speedily as it should have been? As we are well aware, we did an investigation into the state of the public health care system in South Africa as the Office of the Public Protector. And amongst other provinces, KwaZulu-Natal was also affected, where you find that there is no mortuary vehicles, there's no ambulances sufficient in most of the mortuaries and hospitals, no staff actually to actually deliver the services that is supposed to be delivered. We did issue that report to government. We are yet to receive their implementation plan.
Gcaleka, we're closing it now. The conversation that my colleague Ziana Ngobo has just had is that we have a president who may possibly not finish his second term. You're one of the institutions, or at least institutions that are investigating him. When are you releasing the report?
As you are well aware, we issued a statement a few weeks ago informing the public that the formal investigations have been finalized. We do have a draft interim report, and I want to emphasize it's an interim report which is now going through our quality assurance processes, where we are going through each and every paragraph, every sentence, every word in the report to ensure that we are factually accurate, we are in line with the applicable legal prescripts of the country, which apply to each and every of the aspects that we have been investigating. And I must say, it is quite an intense process which we are undergoing, and once we are done with that process, we will release the interim report, which is subject of our Section 7.2, that it may not be released to the public because it will still be going to the affected parties, and procedurally they need to be granted an audi arterem partem rule where they have to respond to whichever intended findings and remedial actions that we would have come up with in that particular report. And thereafter we will have to go through an intense process to consider those responses vis-a-vis the evidence that's before us.
So simply put, there is no exact timeline.
There is no, I can't say there's an exact timeline. They might raise other issues which would require us to further investigate on those issues, on their responses. When I look into the matters that we normally investigate, there would be other issues that come up to rebut whatever it is that we might have found in the interim report. And it is after that entire process that we will then issue the final report, which will be for the public.
Advocate Gcaleka, the Acting Public Protector, let me thank you very much for your time. And Stephen, well, there you have it. And South Africans waiting to hear the outcomes of the Phala Phala saga, at least on the part of the Public Protector. We're going to have to wait for some time. Stephen, it's back to you for the moment.